A convicted sex offender was back in Hamilton court today. Hamilton YouTuber Jack Densmore is set to be sentenced after found guilty of sexual assault. Al Sweeney was in court and has more.
The Crown prosecutor in this case is asking for a sentence of 3.5 to 4 years for Densmore. The defense is suggesting a sentence of 2 years less a day and that Densmore be given a conditional sentence that he could serve under house arrest. Densmore is known for posting videos on YouTube. He goes under the name Denmo and calls himself a prankster and comedy content creator. But he's been banned from university campuses, including McMaster. In July, he was convicted of sexual assault during an encounter with a Mac student. The judge said he was either reckless or willfully blind to the fact that she didn't consent to the sex. He described Densmore's version of events as unworthy of belief. The victim presented a victim impact statement in court today describing the fear, nightmares, and flashbacks she's had following the assault 4 years ago. The Crown prosecutor said it was as invasive a sexual assault as one could describe. The defense said Densmore's blameworthiness was low because the sex took place after consensual acts until the consent was withdrawn. That was when he tried to video the encounter on his phone. The judge said he'll pass sentence back in court next month. At the end of the hearing today, Densmore was asked in court if he had anything to say. He declined to make any comment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Nerd Chronicles with your host, the socially awkward nerd Christian Paul speaking. And forgive me about the room that I deal with because I was literally just in the process of actually just unboxing some brand new toys here. Actually, I'm in the middle of a process, in the middle of actually editing a YouTube video on how I built this little chair right here, which is a wonderful feeling. I got my GT player chair with full-on massage buttons. This is a wonderful feeling. I can literally connect any of these guys here. I can actually plug one of these guys here. I know I have my favorite desktop that actually can do like a bunch of video content. I actually get my chair on and popping and rolling should I choose to play PC games, as y'all see here. Oh, that's the life. That's the shit. That is a shit, y'all. Best believe that. That is the fucking shit. This chair is insane, and it keeps my lower back all free, and it keeps myself prevented from an L5S1 herniated disc. Now that's the life, okay? But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming to you live today as I'm looking into this stuff in real time, literally just finding out that Pseudo Alpha Guru Jack Densmore, aka Denmo, aka Jack Denmo, has been sentenced at the time of this recording today. He has been sentenced by a Canadian judge to serve 3 years in a Canadian prison. Once again, he has been sentenced 3 years, okay, for his first rape conviction involving an undergraduate student at the time that was like a freshman then. Around the year of 2020, he has actually got hit with a 3-year sentence, and I believe he is actually currently serving time in the Canadian jail right now because of it. And not only that, the other case that he's actually dealing with, as I've explained earlier a while ago, is actually still pending as we speak. Just want to actually just give a quick update in regards to that. And we have the information that actually backs up all of this stuff that came by. And mind you, what we're dealing with Denmo is specifically a criminal case. And the details I've mainly described, and they have all the highlighted details in regards with the interaction with like the alleged EPAR or rape. You know what I'm saying? It was consensual with that woman until Denmo pulled his phone out. And at that point, it really got very, 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 very chaotic. And so much lessons can definitely be made in regards with his situation. So I've told y'all from the past. Okay? Now, this is not to say in the last video that he was guilty of all this stuff. I didn't fully say that. All I'm saying was take it a step further and make sure you get yourself fully prepared and be proactive when you actually deal with women and actually understand their mindset, get to know them thoroughly, just in case when stuff like this mainly go down. And even though you actually get cleared all your ducks and make sure everything's cleared up and you fully covered your ass, still don't guarantee that you could be hit with like accusation. You know what I'm saying? But in the case that you do get hit with accusation, at least you got all the evidence, you got all your ducks covered in a row, to the fact that there's a high probability that you can get cleared. Alright? Now let me make myself very, 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 very clear. So in the meantime, as we go through the story here, we are going to go through a couple articles actually highlighting basically Denmo's demise, as we know fit, due to his hypocrisy. Actually, and mind you, he was still actually giving pseudo red pill advice prior to his sentencing, and now he got hit with a 3-year sentence. So let's get to popping. Juicy!
A Hamilton YouTuber was sentenced to 3 years behind bars today for sexually assaulting a McMaster student back in 2020. Up until just 1 day ago, Jack Densmore was posting on one of his YouTube channels to hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Kelly Botello has more.
1 day ago, Jack Densmore was uploading his latest video to YouTube.
As long as you have 1 or 2 friends or people that believe in you, then that's all you actually need to accomplish the things that you want to.
Today, he was taken to jail after a judge sentenced him to 3 years behind bars for sexually assaulting a young woman in 2020.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm looking for a back-to-school girlfriend.
Densmore rose to internet fame with videos of him attempting to pick up women on university campuses, interviewing drunk people at Hess Village, and partying with students. More recently, his content has shifted to him giving men advice.
In this video, I'm going to teach you how to attract women.
What's up, boys? So everybody's been through a dry spell at some point. I'm going to tell you a story about how I overcame a dry spell I had in the past. Listen, man, women are much more attracted to you than you are aware of.
In 2020, Densmore was on a first date with a McMaster University student when they became intimate. At first, it was consensual, until Densmore pulled out his phone to start recording. Densmore argued he was recording a consent video, while the woman said it was his attempt to make a sex video. Densmore then had forced intercourse with the woman, sexually assaulting her, the judge decided. The judge reiterated today that a sexual assault is a very serious act of violence, one that requires a penitentiary sentence, although he did take into consideration that this is Densmore's first offense.
Mr. Densmore maintains his innocence, his family maintains his innocence, I maintain his innocence.
Densmore's lawyer, Mark Fahmy, says the conviction will be appealed.
The notice of appeal has already been filed with the Court of Appeal, and we are awaiting a decision about bail pending appeal.
Densmore is facing another charge of sexual assault in an unrelated case involving a different woman. That trial is pending. Kelly Botello, CHCH News.
Juicy! Alright, y'all. So, we have this article from CHCH that actually shows validity of the whole situation with Denmo here being literally sentenced to 3 years for sexual assault, right? And you already saw the story here, and I think this is the key point that I do want to focus on. Denmo was arguing that he was recording a consent video, while the woman said he attempted to make a sex video. Now, here's my thing, right? This guy here, I get it when you're trying to become intimate and actually go hot and heavy and all these things. Healing, baby. My question is, why not even ask for consent? I see what he's actually trying to do, and I know if that was the case, you want to actually try and get yourself done, but like recording a consent video, I don't think it really needs to be done, because if it really was consensual and everything else, at least to secretly make sure you have the stuff definitely recorded, depending on if your state allows, if you actually do research based on the state of providence that you're in, that they do allow private recordings, audio recordings, that is, you may have a shot literally trying to defend your case. You feel me? You have to actually try to be actually very careful with things. But also, even before that, you got to actually try to feel what they're doing. Even if you do get in the heat of the moment and you get intimate, at least do a post-sex test or post-intimacy test. Once everything is done, just letting her know that you had a very fun time. And if she confirms that, there's your consent right there. And actually show validity and proof of you actually just having intimate sex. You know what I'm saying?
It's good for us.
Now, I will say this: there are judges and there are DAs that do rig cases just because they want to try and make sure they actually railroad certain people, which has happened. But if you actually do show the validity of the text, and that text mainly shows consent based on the fun time that you guys had, it could definitely work. Because these situations can be a wee bit messy. But in my opinion, and I'm saying this in my opinion, I don't think it'd be worth it just actually trying to pull a phone out, because you don't want to try and kill the momentum off, and then she all of a sudden becomes guard up and gun ho. You should actually had that stuff discussed in the beginning, either before that, or y'all should actually just let her know everything was fun post that. You know what I'm saying? Now, from what this article basically says, Denmo then had forced sex with the woman sexually assaulting her. The judge decided, and he reiterated today that a sexual assault was a very serious acts of violence, knowing that it was Denmo's first offense, and definitely one that requires a prison sentence. And you see more family actually looking to actually appeal that decision as we speak. And mind you, this is his first sexual assault charge. And there's another one that is currently pending on another case involving another woman with sexual assault, but also voyeurism as well, showing himself off nude with the public. He's been hit with that, and he's under trial with that. So basically, Denmo here, he more than likely will be serving 3 years at least if he's found guilty of the second charge of the second trial that he's dealing with involving sexual assault and voyeurism. Very, very serious shit, y'all. Oh my god. Juicy. All right. Before I close this one out, I do want to give thank you to a lot of folks that have actually been supporting me and actually supporting this popular video so far. To be honest, I believe I actually put this out literally almost 4 months ago, right? It's literally 4 months to the dot. And I'm really kind of shocked that it definitely exploded the way that it did. Basically, it's got to go at a continuous pace, which I thoroughly thank you guys for. Whether you agree with me or not, at least, we're actually getting a discussion popping, which is actually doing very, very good. And I'm not going to actually just fully actually put you guys mainly up and say for that. Whether we agree or not, I truly appreciate you guys deeply from the bottom of my heart. Now, what I do want to discuss in this is there were some comments that basically was saying that Mr. Jack Denmo here was blatantly framed, and they're basically saying that I ought to be supporting him instead of throwing him under the bus and sitting him on the way that you do. Shame on you. And you see the angry emojis and everything that way, and I believe I responded saying, good, go look at the criminal charges. It's not about whether he's guilty or innocent. He should not have put himself in that vulnerable position. Actually, what I meant to say was go look at the conviction, because again, he's actually convicted of that crime. Okay, keyword is conviction, and I've discussed that particular conviction, right? And now we see some other dude saying, of course, it's about being innocent or guilty. What are you on about? Anyone could be put in that position. That's true, but also definitely take note that you have to be proactive. You have to be very aware of your surroundings and actually trying to vet the people who you with, so that you don't let these types of people, especially women, will have to fuck you over or something like this. You know what I'm saying? And yes, even if you were trying to make sure you minimize actually getting yourself caught, minimize actually putting yourself being vulnerable, whether it's like self-snitching or whether it's actually not actually picking up cues or letting your ego get inside the way. You know, if you don't even actually pick up those cues thoroughly, you could be vulnerable to stuff like this. And even if you weren't actually being vulnerable, you done everything right and you done everything down to the T, yes, you could still be put in that position. And there could be also a chance that they could literally try to railroad you just because they actually have some very salty ass egos, right? But if you thoroughly make sure that you literally cover your behind and make sure you get everything instilled, in the case they actually do try to railroad you and everything else, you got some evidence and you got some guards that validates that you had nothing to do with a crime and actually validates your alibi being cleared at that particular point. So yes, it is very important to be proactive rather than reactive to situations like this. Now, I respond to this gentleman here saying, yeah, that's right. It was also Johnny Depp's fault for not being able to dodge Amber Heard and her dumb accusations, and he's out here laughing it off, and he's basically telling me get a job for fuck's sake. Okay.
I did not punch you. I did not deck you.
That is Amber yelling at Johnny, the verbal altercation after a physical one between the two.
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. You're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a baby.
The audio of the undated brawl played in court after he revealed new claims from another incident where his finger was famously severed.
I was looking directly at my bones sticking out.
For the first time, Johnny on the record, alleging his wife threw not one, but 2 bottles of vodka at him after an argument in 2015.
She threw the large bottle, and it made contact and shattered everywhere. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
And while Amber has previously denied Johnny's allegations, he insisted it happened in Australia 1 month after their wedding.
I knew in my heart, this is not life.
And Depp claimed Amber left a rather disgusting present for him after they argued around the time of her 30th birthday.
My side of the bed was human fecal matter, and she tried to blame it on the dogs. Sorry, I could not agree with her. I'd lived with those dogs. I picked up their fun. It was not the dogs.
Johnny took the stand for a second day and immediately took on his ex-wife.
She's a need for conflict. She's a need for violence. It erupts out of nowhere, and Miss Heard could very easily drink 2 bottles of wine per night. Well, not a problem.
He testified Amber targeted him physically,
throwing a TV remote at my head,
and verbally.
Tell me what a bad father I was, and that I had no idea how to parent. It's to slice you up, it's to bring you down, it's to demean you.
He testified that Amber's actions made him more likely to use drugs, like he had begun to do when he was 11, amid abuse from his mom.
You start to slowly realize that you are in a relationship with your mother, in a sense.
And he made these stunning claims.
Ms. Heard had spoken of suicide on a couple of occasions. Many times when I would try to leave, she would stop me at the elevator with the security guards crying, screaming, you know, I can't live without you. I'm gonna die.
So why did you stay with Miss Heard given this type of behavior?
I suppose because my father stayed.
Juicy! Alright, I don't have to really entertain that part, but hey, I truly appreciate the criticism. And I basically explained to the guy, and I know I got this little massage here that's actually enjoyable, so that's probably making most of the noise. And I basically responded, basically saying, what does the case? And I responded to him critically. And I know he's actually trying to deflect the whole nature situation, thinking that those cases are the same. I basically explained to him, and I actually asked him a critical question, basically stating, what does the case with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp have to do with Denmo's criminal case? And again, it's keyword, criminal case. And actually, when I actually go and dig into that literally right now, and I basically asked him, why are you comparing apples to oranges? So let's get to that real quick. So this young gentleman was basically trying to bring up an actual civil case, a keyword, a civil case that involves punitive financial damages, right? Not criminal cases in which no one goes to jail. It involves money, right? And where we're dealing with the trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, which was held up in the DMV suburbs of Fairfax County in Virginia, right? Up by Fairfax, actually. I've actually lived in the DMV area. I lived by Denmo for almost 2 years, so I understand the area actually very well. In a case like this, I know the terrain. Okay, so they basically were having some allegations of defamation of character between formerly married actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Basically, Depp was filed a complaint of defamation against the defendant Heard, claiming $50 million in damages. Heard filed counterclaims and Depp claiming $100 million in damages. And where they decided the verdict was due to the fact that they awarded Johnny Depp $10 million of compensatory damages, and basically through $5 million in punitive damage, basically $15 million total, and it's basically reduced to $350,000 per state limit in punitive damage. So basically, he was awarded $10,350 million. Basically, that's done. They basically started the trial, and it was there for 2 months, basically live on national TV, right? And Heard the counterclaims. He was awarded $2 million as a result of that, based on the judge Penny S. Ascrate, which is the chief judge of Circuit Court in Fairfax County, Virginia. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the judge that you mainly see here, Penny S. Ascrate. That is the judge that oversaw that civil case. And yes, this is Mrs. Penny Ascrate that actually oversaw the civil case that we know of. That was definitely there. And mind you, Mrs. Ascrate, the Honorable Penny Ascrate, the Honorable Ascrate is a former U.S. Marine. Just want to actually keep it out there. So basically, Amber Heard was basically alleging that Johnny Depp abused her and abused her and everything. That big accusation that basically nearly ruined Johnny Depp's career, right? And basically ruined his reputation with Disney and Pirates of the Caribbean. And come to find out during the civil trial that Heard was actually the aggressor and the mass manipulator the whole time. And mind you, neither one of them actually went to state prison in regards with that. And they already have all the information that you see up here. And you see all the reactions that you mainly have shown here, where they seen all these quotes. And I know like the pseudo red pill gurus are actually mainly eating all this stuff up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I support Amber Heard, because I clearly don't, because she's literally loose off her screws. And we know that Amber Heard is clearly narcissistic, right? So I want to try and make this very clear. The situation that deals with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp has nothing to do with the situation that Jack Denmo is currently in. And to make it easy, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp is dealing with a civil case, and Denmo is dealing with a criminal case. Very, very two contrasting cases. They are not the same. One trial involves strictly financial damages. The other does not involve financial damage at all and actually deals with jail time for the defendant. Right? So clearly they are not the same. They are clearly apples and oranges. And yes, every case is different specifically from one another. So I want to try and make this very, very clear to this young gentleman that's basically saying innocent until proven guilty, which I do agree of. And I'm not disputing that at all. What I'm saying is definitely protect yourself and don't put yourself in harm's way. Do not put yourself in a vulnerable position where your ass is going to get hemmed up in a case. Real accusation or not, real or false, don't make yourself vulnerable. All right, that's basically what it is. And also in the whole ordeals in regards with the more money thing, I never even read any type of case in which the woman definitely wants more money from Denmo. We have not seen anything in those previous articles in regards to those cases that woman desperately wants more money from him, which is a lie. The woman clearly wants him jailed, which is what we saw. So obviously you're not actually reading the whole thing very thoroughly, and you're not actually watching my whole video and me actually reviewing the whole ordeals when it comes with the video on Mr. Sandro Sanava, right? And I agree, won't even argue further, but maybe it's because you actually didn't fully understand it. And I'm not mainly there to actually try to belittle you or actually call you dumb. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, like, when you're dealing with these types of things, when you actually make these types of blanket statements, you also have to actually be thinking critically when it comes to these types of things. Yes, I agree that it's theoretically it should be innocent until proven guilty. However, it's just some unfortunate stuff. There's some people, and there are definitely some people that are within that judicial system that have rigged cases. Definitely in their favor, definitely for sure. And then there's some instances where, the evidence ain't really thorough enough by police to actually file, or even the DA to actually mainly file, and they don't actually go through it. Or the DA may force the police to actually arrest that particular defendant, even though they made a police report saying that it's inconclusive. A lot of various clusterfucks that mainly happen behind the scenes, and it's a very, very messy situation when dealing with actual rape and actual assault, and compared with false rape and false assault. So what I'm trying to put all that stuff out with balance. The moral of the story that I basically want to discuss with you guys is please, 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 please protect yourself, protect your image. And I'm not saying anything about the whole hardcore, don't get married, don't avoid women at all costs. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, when dealing with dates, when actually interacting with women, always practice subtle cues. Always learn about the subtle cues beforehand of consent and non-consent, and sniff to see if they actually mainly gravitate towards you, they're actually gravitated by your aura and by your energy. If they feel some repulsion to your energy by any means, you already know it's a red flag, and it's just not worth actually definitely moving forward at that point. That is your cue to actually back off and don't go forward. Alright? Definitely it's very important to actually mainly practice subtle cues, mainly practice social cues, and actually definitely ask her some hard questions prior to the intimacy and everything else, just to make sure that all your ducks are mainly covered and run well. And once the intimacy is actually done and you're done clapping cheeks, give her like post-sexual care, and actually give her like a fun text saying that I had wonderful fun. And if she does confirm it, you got your consent right there. You got your defense right there. You know what I'm saying? So this right here, what Sandra was saying, is definitely not a critical statement at all. They're saying innocent until proven guilty, and you're saying that unnamed woman wants money from him while they're dealing with a criminal case. Come on, man. So this is something I definitely want to put out. Why would you put your faith in hardcore pseudo red pill gurus that don't even follow by their own example? That really don't even follow by their statements, although some of the stuff is true, but they don't tell you about the other side on actually how to court women, how to keep women, how to maintain relationships, how to actually thoroughly vet people properly. Actually have to understand that there's not a one size fits all, which the actual pill actually state that there's really no one two size fits all, and like every woman is definitely individually different from one another. These things actually do matter, but if you actually do want a woman to actually follow your lead, you have to thoroughly lead by example on the morals that you definitely set, and you have to treat people with respect on how you want to be respected at the end of the day. And I've already dug on that stuff in regards to a podcast that I've been discussed with pseudo gurus. If you want to definitely look that up, I'll definitely post a video of that. Y'all could definitely check it out. I'll definitely keep it posted in regards to Denmo's other assault cases, if in the case that whether or not he's guilty or innocent, or if the appeal is successful, I'll definitely let you guys know. But again, the moral of the story is definitely protect yourself at all costs. Make sure you cover all your ducks in one row and be proactive, so you don't get caught up in the vulnerable position of a case like this, whether it's true or false. Chris and Paul is out of here. Good night, y'all. Good night, good night, good night. As I enjoy my favorite chair. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh. Juicy. Juicy.